There once was a man named Gold Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonkō Table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonkō Table, the table that will make their dreams come true. Yo, everyone. The Yonkō Table has set sail yet again. This time, no longer with the MCU. We've been doing a lot of MCU stuff lately, but we are jumping deep diving straight into our Pixar tier list. If you guys want to check out our most recent Pixar outing, check out our Lightyear podcast from a couple weeks ago. We deep dived the latest Pixar film, but this time we will be ranking all 26 of the Pixar films from the least favorite Pixar movie, number 26, all the way to number 1. So we got a lot to break down here today, but with me as always to deep dive this ranking is fellow Yonkō GrandMasterHoop. Grandmaster, did you create an accurate tier list? Did you rank these movies properly?
I believe so. Going into this, my picks are based on overall enjoyment and quality of film. So that is where that's how my ranking is formulated. So any discrepancies I find, I will talk about why that film is not that enjoyable or why other films succeed where others do not. So that is what I'm coming in with. And I'm ready to fight anybody who has anything else to say against.
So you're saying essentially Cars is in your top 5?
Absolutely not. Never.
It has an odd placement in the list, but
and I could tell you right now, I don't think anybody had Cars in their top 15. So
spoilers. But hey, this is how we're going to be ranking the tier list. For those of you that haven't seen our previous ranking list, which you should, but in case you haven't, essentially what we do is we send out a poll to our Yonkō group chat, and we have all Yonkō members and Supernovas take and rank all the movies that they have. And from there, we take the average and put it together, and we're here to tell you what the average is. So this average is essentially the official Yonkō Table ranking. I don't know if I agree with all of these placements, but that is why we are here. We're here to discuss. We're here to, beat each other up over which Pixar film reigns supreme. But we have Supernovas here to join us today. And let's get into it. So, we're going to start at rank 25. I know there's 26 here, but we're starting at rank 25 from the worst or least favorite Pixar movie. And then we're going to work our way up. And we'll explain why we're starting at 25 towards the end. But any takers on what is considered the worst, or that's the thing, maybe there's not a worst Pixar movie.
No. There is. It's Cars 2. Put it in the 25.
You think it's movie. Cars 2?
There are worse. I mean, yes, worse. In comparison, there are indeed worst films. As in, children might find them enjoyable, but as an intellectual, I could not.
As an intellectual, okay.
That just honestly makes us.
An intellectual, did not enjoy.
That just makes our tier list. That just makes our tier list sound so hack, like it was made by hacks. Thanks, Grandmaster.
Thank you. We have separated ourselves from the plebeians.
Now what's better about Cars 3 that makes you put Cars 2 on the bottom?
Yes,
Cars 3 had a story.
I think it was better than Cars 2. I don't know.
Cars 3 was bold. Cars 2 was a merchandise grab.
Cars 3 was bold. It's the same story as Cars 1.
Let's just be honest. Let's just put this right here.
No.
Can you imagine? No.
Absolutely not.
Don't worry. It's nowhere near there. But coming in, I completely disagree with this. I think a movie deserves this spot way worse. But coming in at number 25 is if I can find it. Where is it? Here it is. Cars 3 at rank 25, the worst Pixar film. I don't know. I think Cars 2 is a little bit worse than Cars 3.
Can I give a disclaimer?
Yeah.
Actually, no. I'll give a disclaimer later. But again, I think Cars 3 at least has a story. You know, it might be. It's not. Nino calls it the same story as Cars 1. No, it's kind of a full circle type of story. You know, it's kind of the passing of the torch with Lightning McQueen and the forgettable yellow car's name.
Was it something Cruz?
Cruz, right?
Ernesto de la Cruz in card form.
I was gonna say Penelope Cruz. I was like, wait, she doesn't play the car.
Oh, I was gonna say Celia Cruz, maybe a play on words.
Potentially. I honestly, for my personal worst, I had The Good Dinosaur at number 25.
Pretty bad.
I did not like The Good Dinosaur.
Yeah, that was on my 25.
Oh no.
The Good Dinosaur is better than the Cars films.
Yes, it is.
It's to me, it's better than Cars 2. But not by much.
I can see arguments. I can see arguments for it because I think we talked about it briefly before we started, but I have this disdain for Cars franchise. I really despise this series, and I didn't have that until I rewatched the movies again for this ranking.
But like we were saying, the Cars movie, it's so difficult because like I was arguing with you just 20 minutes ago. What's considered alive in the Cars universe?
How do they make cars?
Why isn't Bessie the thing that moves and is a machine and puts the road together? Why isn't that alive?
Oh, I never thought about that one.
Why do they have sentient life that's organic? Because in Cars 1, they show the California state flag and it has a bear on it. That means bears exist in the cars.
The Pixar theory would say,
I hate it.
These are remnants of a past time.
Don't even entertain it.
These are not remnants of a past time. The Route 66 sign is like brand new. Nope.
But then you have characters like Mater and then Lightning being selfish and learning about friendship.
Talking about in which one though?
The first one.
Well, this is Cars 3.
I know, but he said the whole franchise.
The whole
teaches
franchise.
You about
it's
friendship.
Okay.
Cars taught you about friendship, not Toy Story. Toy Story didn't teach you about friendship.
Listen, I am just giving them Mater. Mater was a great character. You don't think so?
No, I don't
Larry
find
the Cable Guy.
I don't like Mater.
I don't find many of the Cars characters memorable.
You don't find Mater memorable?
I feel like Mater,
remember Mater.
I feel like Mater was the caca poo poo pee pee joke for kids in the Cars franchise. Like, we have to make sure kids are laughing consistently in this movie. Let's have Larry the Cable Guy, who was very popular in the mid to late 2000s.
Which is very weird because he's a very like adult comedian.
Yeah, kids don't know Larry the Cable Guy.
But then again, so was Tim Allen. So
was Tim. I have not seen his adult stand-up.
Oh, he's very even though he had like a TV show like that was geared towards family before Toy Story, he was very like adult and also very conservative. So a lot of conservative comedians get a lot of shine in Pixar and Disney.
Right.
Listen, with Toy Story's voice casting, I don't think that voice cast was aimed at children. All those are prolific adult actors that adults would recognize. Larry the Cable Guy has a funny voice that kids can get behind. And that's why I see that. Right. Kids love that stuff. But overall, voice acting is not enough to save a film from mediocrity.
It's not mediocrity, it's just bad.
Wow.
It's just bad. Cars 3 is very unmemorable. Can we move on from Cars 3?
I will
We're
say
gonna
the
be talking
trailer-
about Cars for a while. I feel there's no way Cars doesn't get past number 20.
Any thoughts on who's at number 24?
Cars 2.
Cars,
Cars-
2.
Yeah,
I'm going up the line.
Interesting.
Cars 2, Cars 1.
Interesting.
it's the good dinosaur.
It is Cars
Oh.
2.
Oh, okay.
It is Cars 2. It is where if we're gonna have them at least in the bottom 3 or bottom 4, 5, whatever, Cars 2 is in
All right,
there.
can I give my disclaimer?
Go ahead.
And you can do what you want with this. So based on our polling of those who are on our Patreon and Supernovas and Yonkō alike, Cars 2 and 3 were at a tie. And I think because in alphabetical order, Cars 2 comes before Cars 3, it was placed above. So here's where Discord can build. Do you think that
It's
was
number
like an
25.
alphabetical thing, or do you think
That must have been an alphabetical thing.
It must have, because Cars 2 is clearly worse than Cars 3.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
It's
It-
just
defender of Cars? You're silent.
Are you a stan of Cars, Jaylee?
I'm a stand of Cars. I'm not a stand for Cars 2 and 3. They should have just ended it right there.
But how is
But they-
Pixar gonna sell toys? They
needed
sell
to-
toys.
They needed to go against Hot Wheels and Matchbox.
Look, I will say Cars did a great job with merchandising. They were pumping out Cars merchandise and Cars video games. Like there is a 6-year gap between Cars 1 and Cars 2, but there was merchandise out the wazoo between that 6-year
There were
gap.
a lot of. There was
Yeah.
a Wii game for Cars
Right.
1. There was
And you
a
know-
DS game.
I will say, and you want to know something? I have a very vivid memory of going. So my uncle and aunt were kind of like well off or semi well off, and they used to always vacation in Sanibel. One year I went with them, and that's the year Cars came out. All the kids, they would just turn on Cars and just leave us in a room. And
Nice.
let me tell you, like, we didn't necessarily like it, but we were kind of indoctrinated into it. They're like, life is a highway and I want to drive it.
Life is a highway. You know what? It's funny. I did not know that song. That song was made for the first Cars, right? Or
Yes.
was it already
Yes.
a thing?
It's a
It
remake.
was already a thing. It's
It's a
It's a
cover.
redo.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a cover.
Yeah.
I just hated it.
Cars 2 and 3 is just not memorable, but you remember Cars, the first one.
Yeah, because they're so ugly. Look at them.
Oh my
They're so
They got-
okay.
They
I
got
won't say
giant
they're
eyes where the
ugly.
windshield should
I won't
be.
say they're ugly.
What do you want the
Their
eyes
mouths-
to be? The
so
headlights
you
look
like-
mouths are the
weird.
Tramp
Grill.
stamp Porsche. Tramp stamp Porsche.
Right.
We are jumping. We are jumping to some of the later one.
I think they're
Listen,
iconic
they-
for
What
sure.
about Cars 2? What about Cars 2? What is there something that you just absolutely dislike or like? I don't know. Where you
No.
guys place this.
It had no plot.
It did have
It
a
did
plot,
not. It did not.
but it was a stupid plot. Why
What
the
was the
hell are
plot?
Cars spies? How can
What's
Cars
wrong
be
with that?
spies?
What's
And
wrong
why
with
would
that?
they choose?
What is
Why would
wrong
they
with
choose Mater?
Because
Why would
I'm
they
telling.
choose Mater?
Because Mater was, like I said earlier, the caca poo poo pee pee joke in Cars 1. Kids love that because I was a little kid when I was watching Cars 1 also, and I was like, oh my
You were
god,
in
this
sixth
guy
grade.
this guy was so funny. He is hilarious.
Sixth
And
grade. No,
Pixar
that was-
saw that and they're like, make a movie on him. Make a movie. We gotta capitalize. Larry the Cable Guy in the front seat. They had to.
And they made a bunch of shorts with him too.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
but you want to know
They
something?
did.
I don't know if he's done something terrible, so maybe I'll regret saying
Larry
this.
the Cable
but-
Guy.
Yeah, I don't know if he's done something terrible. So I'm gonna
Said something
gonna
controversial.
say something. No, or done something terrible. You know, you can't trust comedians nowadays. Like Louis C.K.
Of
You know,
course.
doing terrible things. So I'm just gonna tentatively say this on the condition that Larry the Cable Guy is not a bad person, but he has done a lot for kids. Like he's went in and like done the voice of Mater for children, and also it got him paid. So we can't be too mad if like it paid somebody, you know, somebody's rent somewhere.
I'm glad someone here.
I mean, I'm not mad at
defended Cars
him.
2 in some capacity.
Like
it was a movie to make money.
Yeah, it was definitely a cash grab.
Which is interesting because both Cars 1 and 2 were directed by Lasseter, which is
you know about him?
No.
Oh, that's the rabbit hole. I don't know if we should go down.
Well, I wasn't even referencing him regarding the rabbit hole, but he directed Toy Story 1 and 2. Wait, are you saying? I don't know where that's coming from.
Just any mention of John Lasseter is.
He's directed Toy Story 1 and 2 and Cars 1 and 2. That's all I wanted to say.
Isn't he Farquaad?
No, that's John Lithgow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Too many Johns in Pixar Disney.
Shrek is not Pixar.
Are you sure?
Yes. Moving on. Cars
Moving
2.
On.
Pootie.
Moving on. Is Cars 1 at rank 23?
No, it's the Good Dinosaurs. It's the Good Dinosaur.
Good Dinosaur. Interesting.
I'm pretty sure I have all the cars in my bottom 3.
I think I do too.
Yep, I do.
Have it top
I sure
five.
do.
Actually, no, Good Dinosaur
Bottom
was in
five.
my bottom 3. But Cars 1 and 2, Cars 1 through 3 were bundled together and like towards the bottom. But it is unfortunately not Cars 1, even though it belongs along there with its 2 and 3 brethren. It is, as Nino says it, the Good Dinosaur.
Yes, bad movie.
23. Captain Falcon, I'm sorry. The Good Dinosaur is not that good.
I cried.
At what?
You cried because it was so bad?
When he finally gets to put his little paw on the thing, or not paw, his thing.
His footprint.
His footprint on the thing next to his dad. The dad died. Oh my goodness.
They were all silly. I don't know. I just honestly, maybe I'm a little biased against the Good Dinosaur. One thing that Grandmaster and I liked to do back then, especially in high school, was we used to look at what Pixar movies were in production, and they would have like these little like working titles. Like Coco would have Day of the Dead.
Yeah,
but that's
Dia
it.
de la Muertos movie.
Right, that's all we have. So we will all try to predict, like, what do you think this movie's gonna be about? So we would go down the list. I remember the Good Dinosaur conceptually. It had such an interesting premise from conception, because essentially what it was gonna be about what if the meteor missed, wiping out the dinosaurs, and dinosaurs became the dominant species on Earth, and humans kind of became the the domesticated animals.
Yeah,
right?
like pets. And
like pets.
Right. So essentially, they still kept that plot somewhat, because the meteor did miss in the Good Dinosaur, and dinosaurs did, I guess, become farmers. They became rural farmers. But I don't know, like I feel like this was like in its early rough drafts for me. Like I don't know, I felt like the Good Dinosaur was half baked. It wasn't that interesting.
Did it also have like a bunch of behind the scenes issues? Like there was too many pans in the cookie jar.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. I think there was a lot of back and forth with what Dr. J said with the original premise and how to execute that. I just watched The Good Dinosaur this year. It has the same problems as Jurassic World Dominion,
Wow.
Yeah, crazy.
Too much Chris Pratt.
No. The problem is they just don't do enough with the concept of dinosaurs and humans living together. We only see one human majority of this movie. And
he's just a wild animal.
Family.
Yeah, he finds his family, but it's like they didn't do enough. It's just they're cavemen. They are Neanderthals. Nothing's changed.
They
It's just
act like a dog or an animal.
yeah,
What
they're
is
just
this,
alive.
Ice Age?
Right,
What Ice Age, were they like Neanderthals? Who just like
Neanderthals.
They were just
cavemen.
ugly.
They were close.
They're
They were a
ugly.
little bit more civilized.
They were
Yeah, I
ugly.
mean, but they were civilized here too. It was just this one
Crazy.
human acted like a dog. Like,
that's the twist.
and then also too, does the meteorite missing garner dinosaurs to start harvesting crops and wrangling?
They saw the meteor and was like,
yes.
"We gotta do something about this.
We gotta grow
Another
something."
one comes in.
That could have wiped us out.
Are you mean to tell me dinosaurs would have got sentient intelligence to be like, it's time to pick the crops, Arlo. You got to make a tower out of brick.
No.
We gotta build civilization so we can build buildings, so we can build a laser, so we can destroy the next asteroid that's on the way.
What do you call it? This
I
movie
would've
just
preferred
seems
that.
coming from the place where it doesn't respect its audience. Like, and even though the audience is kids, you're supposed to like, when you make things for kids, you should still respect them as people who can think. This movie really like tries to anthropomorphize human concepts without any regard for why these human concepts exist, and then they just treat kids like utter idiots. They're like, hey kids, if something happened, doggies and cats will become the main species, just like these dinosaurs, and you'll be the dog. And then all the kids go, ha ha, the kid looks like dog.
I
And
can
that's
relate.
it.
I am
So-
wild like this as well.
To be honest, too, this is my last take on the Good Dinosaur. The Flintstones is a better Good Dinosaur franchise than the Good
Yes.
Dinosaur film.
I can take that because they incorporated the dinosaurs into human society. I guess in the reverse way, where humans are still dominant, but I wanted more of what the Flintstones did, where you
They
have
use dinosaurs
humans.
as cars and like
Exactly.
In
Different
construction
dinosaurs.
vehicles.
yeah.
You know
And
what?
The
They
remote
turn to the camera
thing, and
into
then
the
it
hole.
it's just flying to the TV or whatever it was.
Oh,
And
the
every
TV
single one
remote.
of them has one-liners.
Exactly. I think this was Pixar's first official dud outside of the Cars franchise.
Oh well, speaking of box office, this was their like first box
Oh,
office bomb.
Oh, it was a bomb. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, it did not make back nearly as much as they wanted. It
Wow.
like it was not good.
I think
Bad
this
Good
was
Dinosaur.
I think this was really just like the moment where they were like, the writing is no longer on the wall. The writing is like written all over our faces now. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it was like it's too obvious for us to hide, because they were making a bunch of missteps, like from when the Good Dinosaur came out. Like they were not in their glory days anymore.
Right. That was definitely a turning point.
I think it was
think.
the fact that people were thinking that, oh well, maybe we can just rush things. It's still gonna do good because it's Pixar, and
People
that
are
was
still
the
gonna
example
sit
of
in the
just being like,
seats.
oh, I guess not. I guess we can't do anything.
I will bring up a counter later on, because 2015 was also the first year that 2 Pixar films came out in 1 year, and I'll come back to this later.
Okay. All right. So above the Good Dinosaur, we have. Do we think
Life
it's
is a
Cars?
highway.
Do we think it's Cars? Life is a Highway?
Should be Cars.
Should be
Life
Cars.
is a highway.
I don't know. You might be surprised. It could be Cars, but it really is not Cars.
Would you like
Instead-
Cars down here? Or?
I would like Monsters University down here.
Monsters
Oh,
University for
Oh,
1,000.
yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Captain
that we-
Falcon called it Monsters University.
Really?
Oh my
Really?
god,
22.
yes.
Wow.
God.
There's
Good
no
call.
way.
22.
Wow.
It deserves it. No, I
It deserves
really
it.
did not like Monsters University.
I didn't
See,
like it.
This is not a bad film.
See,
It's not-
The Good
oh.
Dinosaur was like, okay, I can see the points or whatever. This one made me mad. There was expectations coming from Monsters Inc. to Monsters University, and they were not met. Like, I did not like this film at all.
I feel the biggest thing with this movie was everybody wanted the Monsters Inc. sequel, not a
prequel.
prequel.
Right.
And when they did bring this out, there's like, oh, they're in college, they're meeting for the first time. It was like, we don't want that story.
Who cares?
Okay,
You want the story
I have-
about what's the company name?
Monsters Inc.
Monster.
Oh. I thought it had a different
It's
name.
literally called
No, did
Monsters
they
Inc.
change it once it was called like the laugh or whatever?
Oh, I don't know if they. No, it's still called
I think it's
Monsters
still-
Inc.
because there's
We-
still
We make you
monsters.
laugh to save our gas. I think that's their new slogan.
I don't think that's it.
I think you were thinking of the Disney.
But I wanted to see
this
what
Disney
happened
event.
with that, because they only have that one scene at the end with Mike and he's telling jokes, and then the company's successful. They should have kept it
And then they,
going.
you know, reformed Boo's Door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Perfect.
But then it
ending.
would break the illusion of happily ever after.
Then
and I
don't
think-
make a sequel or
Then
prequel.
don't make a okay. But you want to know something? This movie was not only insulting to the franchise because I'm pulling my stuff up. So this movie
wrote
was
an
directed
essay.
by Pete Hans Doctor.
Pete Doctor's good.
And what do you call it? He had a very specific vision for the original film. Going back and watching the original film, he had a very specific vision in visual storytelling. Like all the monsters had to have like a reason for why they are. They interacted with their world in a very different way. Like all the monsters had like a different way of interacting with the world. Like you could see like a very like long one or a very tall one, or
Right.
you know, and they all, and like the doors would be shaped around them, or they were just, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they were very specific and very creative. Monsters University is just, they don't exist in the same world to me. There's just it's just a college movie with like paint over it. It's
Yeah.
not a Monsters Inc. movie.
Yeah,
No,
And
I
that's what
agree.
makes me mad
It's-
about this film.
Right. No, I agree. I didn't like how they did certain characters where it's like an old, like I don't know what the literary term is, but like what they did with Randall, right? Randall's supposed to be the villain in Monsters Inc., but they paint him as like a good person in Monsters University, and I feel like they did a very bad job showing his downfall. I didn't believe it because I'm watching. I'm like, wow, Randall is like a really nice character. Yeah, the glasses, right?
That's
That was
character development right there.
Character development. Oh man, I just
So
hated
you didn't buy that Randall would become a child napper, a kidnapper?
No, I
They
feel
did.
like they did that because they're like, well, he has to be bad in Monsters Inc. So let's half-ass like his downfall in Monsters
Yeah.
University. I didn't buy it. The Randall in the beginning of Monsters University is not the same Randall clearly in Monsters Inc. Like they're not the
think
same
it
It
character.
didn't connect.
I
Right.
think even more importantly, the Randall at the end of Monsters University wasn't the same Randall
Right.
at the beginning of Monsters Inc.
Right.
So, and this movie just shits on the entire like franchise. Like
Two-
it's very
two-
insulting.
To this film's credit, it did garner some laughs. I do remember laughing here and there. And I do remember at least there was more of a, I feel like, cohesive story than the other entries we have already talked about. Like, I appreciate the attempt. This is Pixar's first prequel, and I think probably their last. But you know, I give them props for trying. However, I don't think this was the franchise to
It was
do
not.
that.
You're giving
Mm-mm.
props for. Would you give props for
For
a fish
disrespecting
for
Monsters
swimming?
Inc.
Come out. No, Nino, don't do that. Because that's like saying you're not going to give props to your daughter for striking out, but at least she stepped up to the plate.
No, that's not what it
At
is.
least they tried. Is that what you're
Right.
saying?
Yes.
At least they tried. No, they didn't try. This movie was just very much bland.
Listen, they tried. However, again, we discussed this too when we talked about Lightyear. We're just fans of more original ideas. We don't want to overdo, you know, a franchise and characters. And this is where we are right now. Pixar during like 2010s was just about let's bring back characters and put them in new scenarios. Hopefully it flies. They don't.
Unfortunately, it
And
didn't fly.
again, you know, you didn't have to. This movie could have been good. The only issue is that again, you're missing a lot of the creativity in the world building, in the visual storytelling, because it's just a regular college campus. Like they don't account for anybody else.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Just regular dorms, regular classrooms.
It's not monsters. It didn't
It's
feel
not
like
monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
You know how
Num-
go ahead.
Randall doesn't have to be in this film because like
But he's in the first, so he has to be.
no,
We
Where's
have
he doesn't.
Mr. Water
references.
News? Why is he not a professor? He's running
Where is
Monsters
Mr.
Inc. Never
Water?
mind. I answered that question.
Of course.
But at least an introduction to Water News and like being like, oh, you have, you know, let me see if the original voice actor passed away before.
He did pass away.
That's probably why.
okay.
Well,
Wow.
yeah, it was missing that element of making everything like monstrous, like the first movie where Mike is like, "Do you have dog, wet dog or whatever?"
Oh, wet dog.
Oh, the cologne.
the
Yeah.
spray, stuff like that that like really made you kind of be in that little monster world.
It missed
It
all the
didn't have that.
elements.
It didn't
It
have
missed
Still
it.
believe they should have done a sequel instead of prequel. Like I agree on that. Like
Not saying a sequel
could've
though
done
would have
something.
done it justice either.
Right.
Think so?
It probably wouldn't have.
It's kind of like the whole Toy Story dilemma where did you want a movie after Toy Story 3? Did you want another Toy Story?
No.
But Toy
What-
Story 4
Well,
was a
interesting
good
you
movie.
say that, Nino. Toy Story 4 is at number 21.
Whoa.
Are you serious?
It's not.
Woo!
It's not.
Oh,
Don't worry.
okay.
no, he
Don't
lied,
worry.
he lied.
Cool the flames. Cool the flames.
Whoa.
It is the only one deserving at this point in the tier list. Where is that bad boy? Where is that? There he is. There he is.
Life
Cars.
is a
Life is a
Highway.
highway.
Okay,
Life is a
y'all keep
highway.
dropping Life is a Highway. That is, I think, the singular good thing to come from Cars.
I
Is-
completely disagree. As soon as I heard that song in Cars 1, I wanted to turn that thing off. I
That-
wanted to turn off.
Rascal
wanna-
Flatts cover of Life is a Highway is phenomenal. I don't care what anybody
No,
says.
Rascal Flatts suck. And number 2, Disney overplayed it. It was all over Disney Channel,
They did.
Disney Radio. No.
Radio Disney, say it correctly.
Oh, I gotta respect the Disney overlords now.
Listen,
What
that's
do
a
you-
good song. It's a good song, and
It
I'm
You're
gonna
gonna
could-
make me watch Cars
it
2
is-
again?
It is the
could-
best thing to come out of Cars.
Let me
franchise.
tell you why I disagree with you. Because every Pixar movie up until now has had an original score that really sold the movie. You go back to Finding Nemo, and especially Incredibles, Toy Story with Randy Newman, they all had original scores purposely made for those movies. As soon as I heard A Life is a Highway in Cars, I was like, I don't get it. Is this a DreamWorks movie?
All right, time out.
Is this
That's-
Shark Tale?
That's BS because that's not even the first song that plays in Cars. The first song that plays in
Oh
Cars.
no, you're right. It's the one on the racetrack. The racetrack song. I forgot the
I'm
name.
real gone.
I hate that. I hate it too. I hate all
That
the
one's
songs
bad. That
in
one's
Cars.
bad. I don't like that one.
I hate all the songs in Cars because it pulls me out of the movie. Every Pixar movie up until then had original scores for the film.
I mean, Cars has an original score. It's just like you said.
That's not
it's
what
saturated.
they sell.
It's saturated with soundtracks. So yeah, the score gets lost. Wow, Randy Newman did this one too.
Oh,
Randy Newman did the
actual-
score. Yeah.
okay.
So Randy Newman
I-
at this point has
couldn't
done
tell.
every score except for The Incredibles.
Big difference.
I'm sorry, and Finding Nemo. Sorry.
Oh, he did not do Finding Nemo.
No, he did not do
Interesting.
Finding Nemo. No, but that makes sense because John Lasseter directed this film, and John Lasseter is going to keep bringing the people that he wants. So he brought
Right.
back Randy
Okay.
Newman. But yeah, man, Cars just is. One,
Cars
if there's a
just
film
sucks.
called Doc Hollywood, and my father ingrained this into my brain coming out of this movie, he was like, "Oh, this is Doc Hollywood with Michael J. Fox from like 1990 something." It's the same plot. The guy, hotshot, he gets stuck in a town and falls in love with the town and a girl and doesn't want to go to California. That's, yeah, unoriginal.
Very unoriginal. Plus, there's over sexualization of all the cars, which makes no sense. You have the cars
Okay,
the headlights, the
Gio, say
headlight
what you
scene.
said earlier to us about the flashing. Please.
Oh,
Oh.
Gio. Go ahead, Gio.
Yeah. So in the beginning, when they were racing, there was one point where everybody's doing the wave, but like they were doing the wave as in like flashlights. So and then right after the race was done, Lightning McQueen was just doing an interview, and like 2 car girls come in and they flash them, but they were doing headlights as well. So like what were they doing during the wave where everybody's just flashing at them during the whole time, and it just didn't make any sense for me.
The lore is inconsistent. Are the flashlights they're Their boobies. Like what is it?
Are they movies?
Are they? They say it in one scene that is, and then in the next they just have the whole crowd like Mr. Bombastic's doing it, just showing everything. I hate this
Defend
franchise.
Cars. This is your quote unquote good one.
Oh, this
I
is the good
mean-
one, Captain Falcon. Does it deserve
think-
number 21? Does it deserve?
I
should
don't
be
think
higher?
it deserves number 21. I think Toy Story 4 was a great 21. I don't remember what happens in Toy Story 4, but I remember what happens in this movie. So
Interesting.
it just
Interesting.
That's you know what? I'm just
That's
gonna
fighting
chalk it up.
words.
I'm just gonna chalk it up that you pulled a GrandMasterHoop in Toy Story 4.
What
You
does
must
that
have been
mean?
asleep.
What
Oh, you
is
saying you
that?
fell asleep?
You fell asleep
Oh,
5 minutes in.
oh.
You woke up 5
funny
minutes.
enough, I did fall asleep at the worst part of Toy Story 4.
There is a worse part in Toy Story.
No,
It's
I'm sorry. I fell
goodbye.
asleep at the ending
Wow.
where it was supposed to be this emotional thing, and I was like, I woke up, and was like, oh my god, is Woody leaving?
That's the worst part for you.
No, I mean like that was the emotional
oh,
climax.
The least
It's the
optimal time. to
worst,
have-
yeah, least
Yeah,
optimal
the-
time. There
yeah.
you go.
Got it.
Dr.
Got it.
Jace is a Toy Story stan. I see now.
I am
Oh,
not-
don't Nino is too.
I'm rocking.
But no, he's franchised. Dr. Jace's Toy Story 1.
I like franchise too, but one to me, I disagree with. You know what? No, I won't.
Yeah,
say it.
who's
We gotta
number
wait. We gotta
20?
wait.
I won't
We
say
gotta
anything.
wait.
Is
We'll
it
wait.
Toy Story 4?
We're going back to Cars. I do
back
want
to
to say
Cars.
that.
Back
Like,
to Cars. Back to Cars. I mean, I think it at least it's in the bottom echelon of Pixar rankings. I think they deserve the bottom 3. I think with the Good Dinosaur, but it's fairly within the same range.
wait, do you guys not like it as like watching as a kid?
Cars?
Fun, I did like it watching as a kid.
As a kid,
I
yeah.
mildly
I
liked
did.
it. I thought,
Yeah,
and
so
I,
The
I
problem
think-
is there's a
think they
difference.
just-
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I just want to say that I just think that they made it just for kids, because like I'm pretty sure every single adult, like or like even teenagers, they were like, "Dude, what is this even about?" But all the kids were just
Right.
like, "Love it."
Okay,
And
but
that's what I was asking Grandmaster, because I was like, are we ranking these as like our enjoyment now as adults, where we can analyze and say, oh, this is missing this in the story, or this character is kind of bland. But as a kid, well, Grandmaster didn't, but I enjoyed Cars.
He
as
was
a
an
kid.
intellectual.
it-
back
No, no,
then.
He
no.
was an intellectual.
I promise you this.
Actually.
Cars was, if not one of the first, if not the first film that I walked out as a child disappointed.
Mine was around the same time. Mine was Shrek 3. That
Ooh,
was the
that's
first
fair.
time.
That's
That was
fair.
the first time, because before, as a kid, you would go into a theater and you would see a cartoon and be like, oh, cartoon, caca poo poo jokes, yay, and they're funny. But Shrek 3, that was the first one where I grew as an intellectual and and walked out and said, ugh, what was that?
Ew.
Yeah, no, it's that's a fair
I'm-
point.
I'm-
I think
I'm glad
I
y'all-
understand.
I think
glad
Cars
y'all-
1. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
No, go ahead, Captain Falcon.
I think Cars 1 did what it needed to do. It reached the kids. It reached it wouldn't have been as big as it is if it didn't. If it was that bad for kids,
In
it
your
would not
rage.
be this big.
You're right. It did do what it needed to do. Made money, consume product. That's what it did.
Consume your Disney
Consume
product.
product. Oh my god.
Oh
But
my
you know, I'm glad that it happened for you earlier than it did for me. I don't think I understood what bad films were until
You became an intellectual.
college. Because I thought that You Don't Mess with the Zohan was a good movie in
Wow.
seventh grade.
I thought so too. I thought so too.
And I was like,
Upon its release,
oh, Adam Sandler funny.
I
You
thought
thought-
it was. I thought don't enter the Zohan, or well,
You don't mess with the
You don't
Zohan.
mess
you don't
the
mess with the
Zohan.
Zohan, because that was during a period where I thought all Adam Sandler movies are fantastic. They're hilarious. There's not a dud among them. And then you go and see this movie, and for the first time, I was like,
It was actually quite insensitive too, a little bit.
very
Oh, no,
insensitive.
it
A
is.
little bit.
Would
I'm
not
sorry,
be made today.
a hell of a lot. Sorry,
Hella a
Yeah.
lot.
But
that's not
I just,
Pixar.
It's just, yeah, no, it isn't. But I'm just saying that, when I was a kid, I was like, if you put anything in front of me, I'd be like, haha, haha, and then like I just get dumber.
Listen,
Losing
to,
the brain cells.
to your point, I made my list was based on how I think now as an intellectual. Because with majority of Pixar films, adults and children could enjoy. When I go back and watch Cars, I did not enjoy it as a child, and I went back as an adult. I did not enjoy it as an adult. So that points down on Cars. That's not on me. I'm not crazy.
To
You know?
Grandmaster's point, I remember for years I would tell him, "Why do you hate Cars so much? It is not that bad of a movie." But that's me basing it off of what I remembered when I watched it as a kid. And he just had this disdain for Cars. He hated Cars. He would swing on you if you said anything good about Cars. And then I finally watched it, and I'm like, wow, I've become Grandmaster Hoop. I hate it.
I'm not crazy. I was right.
I hate this series so much. But I think we've thrown enough tomatoes at Cars. It's gotten the beat down. It knows its place. It knows it's gonna stay there. We're now on the 20th film. This was kind of like similar to where I had some of the other movies. Any takes mid-year.
It better be Soul.
It could be Soul.
Interesting.
It might be.
We have Soul.
I know
Turning
not many
Red,
people
I
enjoy
agree.
Onward.
Onward 2. Get that. Wait. You said Turning Red. What they
let's
said?
just I'm not saying it's
Red.
there. We're not saying it's there. It's just let's talk about what deserves the spot.
A Bug's Life, definitely.
Yeah.
It's a rough movie.
Oh my
to
gosh,
sit
not
through.
not 20. Jeez.
Oh,
Louise.
oh,
As
yes.
20.
It's a rough movie, but we'll get there.
Yeah, I'm looking at everything else. Nothing else really deserves that spot.
Oh, Incredibles 2. Oh my gosh.
It's
Incredibles
not
2.
that. It's not
Incredibles
that
2.
bad.
Okay, wait. When we get there, I have to
Okay.
like
Okay.
channel the Lady Chrome for a little bit.
The Lady Cry.
Yeah.
But coming at number 20 is none other than Soul.
Yes. We
Nino
win.
called it.
Get out of here.
Funny enough, I up until this year when I was watching this stuff for this tier list, I had not seen The Good Dinosaur at all once, and I had not seen Soul. They were the only two Pixar movies that I had not seen until we did this. I watched Soul. Yeah, I don't know. It had no soul, you could say.
Did not have any soul. And you want to know something? You know, I don't know if I'm the one that should be spearheading this criticism, but I will
Channel Chrome.
criticize it. It's not a bad made film. It just does something unforgivable. Like you take a black man out of his body, the main character out of his body, and put him in a cat for most of the film, or you leave him as an ethereal being for most of the film. That's honestly unforgivable. You can't do that. Like this was one of the first like Pixar movies to have black main character.
It is the first
It's the first to have a black main character, and like we're going into this, everyone was like promised that they would be. The marketing around this was very specific about that barbershop scene. They were like, oh, the
Yes.
barbershop scene. We're so grateful we have, actual black people to talk to about this so we can make it authentic. And it's literally only one scene in the film, and the guy isn't even in his damn body. So I feel like, honestly, I feel cheated. I feel bad for
Lied
anyone
to.
who I feel bad for anyone who looked up to this film and wanted it to be good, and then saw what just how dirty they did it. Wasting of Jamie Foxx's vocal performance, wasting of
That's
anything
right.
jazz.
Jamie Foxx
Anything
was
jazz.
in
That
it.
is
Does this
crazy.
movie have anything to do with jazz? No.
You know what's funny with this movie? I again, I had not seen it until this year. But the marketing around it, I took it as a movie. I took it as a movie of what it would do for music, the same way Ratatouille would do for food.
I was thinking
Right?
of that too.
The art of
Yes.
food, the making of food, all that. I thought Soul was gonna be that, but for music. And I was interested in it because I'm like, wow, that sounds really unique. I wonder what they're gonna do with it. I feel like music is hardly a part of it. Like it's an element in the story, but it's not the way. It's not what I was sold. It's not what I was marketed to.
I'm gonna say this: Soul is an interesting film because everything that we've been saying is accurate. Pixar falls into this trap kind of with their original ideas where there has to be a gimmick, and what Soul marketed was the human aspect of the film, and the best parts of the film are before the gimmick, you know.
Yep.
When he's interacting with his students, when he's interacting with his mother, and when he's in the barbershop. And actually the jazz scenes, like when he's playing, they kind of take this like melodic
I thought that was going to be the movie. I thought that was the whole
I
purpose.
thought it was going to be more than that.
That was the best part of the film. Where it loses itself is they throw in the gimmick with the cat and the souls and, you know, this existential, you know, perspective on life.
Right.
And that's where it becomes kind of just not about the representation that they were going for. You know, they wanted to portray, you know, Black culture, Black American culture, and then it just got lost in the sauce for the you know, the tropey Pixar gimmick. And then on top of that too, yes, Soul falls into the category of Black leads in an animated film being turned into something other than a Black lead. Like he's a cat, Tiana's a frog, Will Smith is a pigeon, all that bull. It's just like, this is not what anybody wanted. And then just the end result too was not anything special.
Right. Oh man, because like it even robs it of its message, I feel like, at the end, because like he was supposed to like sacrifice his life or something.
I don't even know that. I don't even know what happens at the end, to be honest. I thought he was dead. And he let Tina Fey take over his body.
He let Tina Fey like live, I guess, and then the gods of that place that they're at, he's like, oh, we like what you did. You're very honorable. Here, we'll let you live. Roll credits.
And you know, it's unfortunately Pixar falls into like this trap where like another trapping is when they think of any life beyond the human experience, or when they kind of make it into business capitalism. And it worked in Monsters Inc. because it was specifically like criticizing capitalism. It worked in Toy Story 3 with the prison because it was specifically criticizing capitalism and fascism. Why was it here in this movie? Why did they have to have an office in this movie? Why did they have to have files in this movie? Why did they have to be in a way that we understood it? You're telling me that this is the great beyond, where souls are made and like sent down, and it just looks like a filing cabinet in like a business office somewhere on like Fifth Avenue? Nope. Shit tier. Shit movie.
It is where it belongs, unfortunately.
This was one of the movies where like I really liked the trailer and everything else, and then like the movie was just so bad.
I have a genuine question that's like more like criticism aimed at this movie. Did the marketing ever, like, to anyone here, ever hint that the cat was gonna be involved heavily in this film?
They subtly hint at the cat. Looking at the poster itself,
I mean, the cat is in the poster.
Yeah, the cat is in the and then I believe in a couple of the trailers, yes, the cat is prominent. However, it was never to the point where you thought Jamie Foxx is gonna be the cat
for majority of the film.
Yeah.
Or
Tina Fey would end up being Jamie Foxx.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you think it would have been better if instead of a cat, it was just like another human?
I think this movie would have been better. You drop the whole soul concept and let this dude go to the barbershop and have a conversation with the barbers and realize he's been kind of secluding himself from, you know, his own world.
As soon as they brought in the whole souls and all that, that's it. It lost me. I was so excited for this movie, and I remember watching the trailers and being like, "Oh, this is gonna be like a really good movie," and then they're gonna bring in the jazz aspect and like all of that, and then fumbled.
I agree. I feel like it was just two different ideas that Pixar had on the chopping block, and they're like, let's just throw them into one movie. You know, we have one about music, and we have one. I think this movie would have been great as two separate movies, two completely unrelated movies. A movie about, you know, the great beyond, and then a movie about just music.
Yeah, I think they were just like thinking about that. They were like patient to each other, saying like, soul? You mean the music? No, I'm talking about spirits. And I think that's exactly what happened.
That's the twist. Mesh them together.
Well, yeah, that's the play on words, like soul music and
right.
That's just so bad. That's so bad.
We gotta do it. We gotta do it.
There was one thing else I wanted to say about this movie, but and not to compare, like, you know, not to compare movies like because of their leads, but because the only reason I'm comparing it is because it has this other movie, Princess and the Frog, has a black lead that also loses like access to their original body. At least in that movie, you can tell from the music, from the art design, from like the cultural like signifiers, that they have more idea of the culture they're representing than this movie does. Because this movie really only has like a couple of things in it.
It does.
I would maybe disagree, just seeing as how I don't think any of the writers of Princess and the Frog are black, while specifically they brought in black writers to Soul to do the human scenes, and then they Pixar-fied it up. But that's more research I'll have to do, because I don't know who the two names on this list for the writers of Princess and the Frog are, so now I got to do more research.
But I'm saying that you can tell when the writers that they brought in for this movie, we can tell what scenes they were brought in.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But at least the other writers did, you know, the research throughout the whole film. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying even in the music is, they had, you know, gospel, jazz, different types of other like freeform jazz and other like I forget what you would classify the song with, whatever that villain is. I forgot. But you know what I mean?
You're talking about Princess and the Frog. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
You're talking about Soul.
But you know what I mean? Like, at least they did some research here. I feel like the main writers, I'm sorry to call them main writers, but that's what it feels like.
No, that's what it is.
Movie.
Yeah.
They made one movie and then they were like, we have no idea how to write black people. Let's actually get some black writers and shove them for 2 scenes or 3 scenes, which is not great.
And I'm gonna bring it up later. A better production from Pixar that is similar in behind the scenes. I'll bring it up later when we get there.
All right.
For A Bug's Life.
No.
Oh, I see.
Sorry.